Hello, and welcome to Hermine's Museum of Life and Life's Transition. I'm Myrtle, the curator of Hermine's Life's Transition Museum. She was a social worker, a private practice therapist, a salsa dancer by night, and therapist yuppie by day, living in Santa Monica, California, until that fateful day in May 21st, 1991, when she learned that her only son had committed suicide. As you can imagine, that brought up a lot of emotions. Grief has a lot of the Kubler-Ross stages of grief and death and dying, anger being one of them, and that was one of the ones that she had dominantly for the first period following his death. As a therapist, she had several therapist friends tell her to go to Esalen. This painting was done before the art barn at Esalen was an art barn, but they had some paints and things to facilitate working there, and it showed my grief. And I saw that when I was there, this is what I looked like. This is my self-portrait of how I looked at the time. My mother's grief face. When you have a terrible loss, you have to go inside, and you have to self-reflect, and you have to go deep. And so in this incredibly small 500 square foot studio on the ridge with an outdoor shower only and carrying wood, Hermine, as you know her now, doesn't seem like that would fit, but it was the dark night of the soul for her, and she actually went inside and lived in that little space. And I had to do a lot of soul searching. And this group of paintings was done not all at that time, but all related to myself and my soul searching and my evolution. One of the things that happened during that time is Esalen is full of goddesses and, you know, all these new age, airy-fairy people, as all of you know about. And I was always emulating and wanting to be a goddess and, you know, dancing and, you know, moving around. The winter's in Big Sur, the roads go out, and the power goes out, and it's really a nightmare. So my oldest, dearest friend invited me to Maui. And when I was in Maui, I finally found my way to Little Beach. And I sat there and I did little paintings of Little Beach and the people I saw on the beach. And this is an example of my 9-month birthing of a Little Beach painting with a volcano erupting. And then I moved into my goddess phase, as I was talking about goddesses. That painting on that back wall up there is Goddess reclining in Big Sur. And I started, from feeling the goddesses and the angels around me, I started having the feeling that angels were protecting me. You'll see that I have a lot of angels, goddesses, and mermaids, and I just have a couple stories I want to share with you about that. My mermaids became mermangels. I kind of combined mermaids and mermangels, and I got involved with this amazing group of women. Actually, Karen is here. She was one of the women. We met in an improvisational workshop where we took the worst thing that ever happened to us and had to turn it into a 10-minute stand-up performance. You know, I learned something in the last couple years about the grief hole, which is when you had a terrible loss, all the other losses go in that grief hole. And unless you are able to separate it and divide it out, it's very difficult not to feel the same grief for the loss of a child or a dog or a friend. So I've had evolution and growth, and I just want to encourage you all to be the curator of your own life and your own museum and to honor yourselves. So thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoy the art. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to discuss it with you.